Hello. I love you very much. I love that. It's your favoriteest mug ever.
Favorite this.
Yes. And next to your own face. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said next to your own face.
Ugh, no.
My favoriteest mug ever is Star Kitty. And then my second favorite is all of you folks out there. We're back again for episode 88?
88.
Technically. Of Bandwidth and Banter. And originally, we were set to have Brandon Wolf Gaming on, but he's still in Ireland at the moment and wasn't going to be able to make it back in time. So he had to cancel on us, and he was very regretful about it. We're going to reschedule with him in the future. But 100%. We were super fortunate that, I'm sure you guys have seen in the title, it kind of spoils the surprise. But we got a surprise guest tonight who is not in any way playing second fiddle to Brandon. In fact, he represents DYS2. He may not have been a founder, but he is definitely one of the foundations of DYS.
Yes.
We love him dearly. He, in some circles, they say he's your twin.
He is.
And so, without further ado, I guess I forgot to outro. The last time we had on B&B was Ratatash. Woohoo!
Yep.
Ratatash was amazing, as I knew she would be, and we're and so grateful to have her on the show. And we're so grateful to have on the show today the lovely, wonderful NeverTilt3d himself. Say hello, NeverTilt3d.
Hello.
Nice. That's gonna be the shot for the thumbnail. That's perfect. Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing, Drew? How you doing, Stormy?
Doing fantastic.
So,
how are you doing?
Please reintroduce yourself and share with the folks.
My mug.
Oh, that's a badass. I gotta admit, I really like that skull mug you got in the background. Pretty badass.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. So
it's my coffee, some NOS.
Mm-hmm. Share with the folks something new within the last year or so about your stream that you'd like to highlight since the last time you were on the show.
Something new since the last year. So it's a weird flies bothering me. Sorry.
It's okay.
Since last year that you guys had me on, I was in the process right before moving. I was mostly just doing the gaming because I didn't have my art set up. Since then, I have introduced my 3D sculpting back into my repertoire, which has been amazing. It's been a long time coming, and I'm really glad to be able to share that with the communities. Mm-hmm. I've also started finally being brave enough to DJ live, so I have done a few hump day mixes a few people have been to.
Those are amazing. I love making it to those, by the way.
Yep.
I appreciate it. We're going to be bringing those back. It's just been, I've had a lot of projects going on. I had to switch over for the streaming PC because my regular PC was struggling for some reason with the majority of the stuff I had going on. So the audio got messed up, and we have it set back up. I just have to, get in there and do the damn thing.
Yep. Lots of transitions, but I have to say though, the hump day DJ set, always fantastic. It was fantastic to have up because Wednesdays are mine and Stormy's podcast setup days, and it always just it was great to have on to just keep motivated and just be gotta get stuff done, gotta do the thing, let's go. It was perfect. So I can't wait for this to come back.
They'll be back soon, I promise. I'm glad. It warms the heart hearing you guys say that. Makes me feel good, and actually makes me want to play more. But I'm glad that I could provide that, that nice jam time for you guys to work to.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful addition. Like a new feather in your cap for your stream to be able to have truly a variety of things that you do, and you're really freaking good at it. So. Please.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, Oh, I had something interesting to say. Oh, yes. Before we get started with the interview, since we're talking about his 3D printer is one of the new things that he's added into the stream, don't forget, Never Tilted is also the founder, creator, owner, master of Chimera Collectibles. And you guys can head over to his channel and buy dice and other potentially 3D printed things. I suppose right now it's dice. And you can get if you do Stormy, what is it, Stormy 15?
No, Stormkeep 15.
Stormkeep 15.
Stormkeep 15.
You get a 15% off anything that you
Your
order.
entire purchase. Your entire purchase.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah. So, quick sneak peek before we start the interview, I guess. Something that's going to be coming more to the table. I did this as a commission for a buddy of mine. And it really got me. Oh no, that's a shoulder pad.
It could be a mask though. It would fit your little face.
It could be.
Through it.
It would fit your face. I mean, it almost fits mine, so.
She wants one now, I can tell. She wants to cosplay like that in D&D.
Listen, one of the weird things I love to collect are masks.
One of the many. That's a new one I didn't know about. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
big fan.
Yeah, so I did this for a friend of mine who's doing he's playing a demon lord from D&D or from Forgotten Realms called Grazit.
Yeah,
one of the demon lords.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's cosplaying as him for Halloween. So I kind of pulled this up out of a bunch of references offline, and I was like, you know what? I had so much fun doing this. I might make this part of my regular store stuff. So I'm gonna be probably doing a lot more cosplay.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
And then with those time lapse videos of it like sculpting it, because doesn't your 3D printer have a camera in there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does for the PLA printer.
Those time lapse videos are fantastic. I love them.
I agree.
Just saying.
So, on the last part of this topic, one other thing. Don't forget that tomorrow on our D&D stream, we're going to be announcing officially starting the Never Tilted's giveaway of some dice. You want to show off the dice that are going to be the giveaway?
Yeah, it might get spicy just because, I ended up on B&B today, but we might actually, do an impromptu giveaway at the end of this if you guys are cool with that for the chonker version of it.
Oh, I'm up for that, I guess. Wow, look at that.
Don't look at my nails. I've been doing construction all day.
I can't even see your nails. That's amazing, dude. So that's the dice that we're gonna announce the giveaway where you can start signing up tomorrow during the D&D stream, and you'll have a whole week to sign up because we're gonna announce the winner during the following D&D stream at the intermission. So there you go. And if we can figure out some way to do what he suggested at the end of B&B today, we'll figure that out if possible.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Because I'm feeling spicy today. It's kind of sitting there and it matches the set, so why not?
So let's get the interview started. Tell us. I mean, we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but maybe go into detail for some other things, just in general. Tell us what's new in your universe of Chimera Collectibles, Never Tilted.
So aside from, like I said, we briefly touched on it. Besides making the dice, now that I have my my armada of printers, I have all of my resin printers ready to get set up, so I can get back to also printing my miniatures, which is something I'm sure you would appreciate since you still play tabletop. I have about six medium format resin printers. Yeah, exactly. So I have a whole box. I mean, those totes that are with the yellow tops from Home Depot, big ass tubs. Mm-hmm. So I have one of those full of great unpainted miniatures that I've printed. So I get it. But I'll start introducing that back in here shortly. I just finally got myself, as you saw from the mask or from the shoulder piece, I got a PLA printer finally. I think they've caught up to the technology of details that I was looking for. Mm-hmm. And that's why I've always only printed minis in resin. just because the details were lacking. So
Yeah.
that would probably be my newest thing in the Chimera collectible world / NeverTilted world.
Love it. Love it.
Anything else
The-
like just in general in your universe that you're happy about? You know, the last, because I don't know if you know, you've been doing some work there in your home.
So yes, that is another big thing. Yeah, and it's a love-hate relationship, Stormy. It's a love-hate relationship. So we have been renovating the house, and the wife wanted a small project. She just wanted a small loan of $1 million. But no, she wanted a certain vanity changed out and maybe, you know, clean up the walls, and that turned quickly into a full renovation of the bathroom. So I am at the last stretch of doing the tiling for the floor and for the shower, and it will be completely fucking done. If anybody here does home renovations DIY, bless your soul.
Hey, I got a bathtub I want to convert into a walk-in shower. I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just kidding.
I'm actually doing that for the next bathroom, but that's next year. I'm Tilted is done for the year with house projects. Yeah, we've done so many projects in this house, so
Yeah.
that is one big thing.
Gotta take breaks in between the projects so we can get the DJ streams.
Right.
Just
That's
saying.
right. That's
Just
right. I haven't
saying.
even had time for myself lately. Like I went last night. It's funny, you know, on this whole topic. I was like, you know what? I haven't been able to stream as much as I have been before. I was like, let me at least get on a game for a little bit. I'll do a little recording, maybe get some clips. I sit down. I go to play Tarkov because that's like my solo game now when I'm just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
I hit it to go open, and I knew I shouldn't have because I was already like, damn, I'm fucking tired. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
You're
tired.
fine.
No,
you
you're
can
okay.
fucking cuss. You're fine.
Okay. I look at it, pops up, and it says update, and I was like, Alt F4, sleep, computer, go to bed. Like it's been my life for the last few weeks, just because of, you know, I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
I understand.
I know, and I'm trying not to bug you for like the commercial. Like, there's just, you know, you have too many things going on, man. It's just awful.
As soon as the middle of October goes, I'll be done with. We're having a huge Halloween party here at the house. We'll have Halloween already set up probably by the first week of October. And I'll be free to actually do things. Trust me, like my commissions have been nuts too, because I had to turn down so much work over the last 2 weeks, I'd say. It's because I just don't have the time. And I'm like, I wish I did. I really do. But soon, we'll be back full fucking force. I promise.
We believe you, and we can't wait.
Very exciting stuff. What has been the highlight of the last year and or your biggest success story?
Highlight of this last year since is we purchased another home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'd say it's the first time taking on like such a hefty project and actually following through. I'd say, as my twin would know, I am severely ADHD. So my brain goes squirrel constantly. And the last house that we had before we had moved, which we're renting now, there were so many projects that I wanted to get done. You know, you have this dream of grandeur, like, oh, I'm going to change that. You get like 1 out of the 8 done, and you're like, all right, well, I'll do it later. And then later comes and never happens. So we got PCS'd somewhere else now. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm actually going to follow through. So I have literally almost completely renovated this whole house besides my room and my like master bathroom. All within the span of I've only been here for 9 months. So
Wow.
That makes me feel better because I'm not one to actually always follow through with projects. It happens.
Yeah.
Not that
So
I don't
many
want to. I have all intentions.
Yeah. So many half-finished projects, and you're just like, I'll get back to that one, because if I don't start this one, I'm never gonna get it started. I'm never gonna do this thing, so I'm gonna just put that one aside while I just start this one, and then, you know, then you're like, ooh, this is shiny. Okay, cool. Wait, no, this is really exciting. The dopamine's flowing, and you're like, oh, I'm inspired. I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna do this thing, and it's gonna be so cool.
Like
and
that-
then you have like 500 projects in the back.
Like that window AC unit, right, Druid?
Listen, it is so cold. We have the heater on in the house today.
I know. I'm teasing you.
It is so cold.
But it was so hot when you got it.
You sent it to me, and literally, it was so cold that week.
That is funny.
So
No, but I get it 100%. I get it. Like in my case, not to drag this one out, but I don't know if it's my luck on top of the ADD that I go to fix it. I'm getting it done. Everything's going fucking perfect. Just streamlined. And then it's always a snag. And that one snag under said snag is 10 more snags. And then now I'm stuck for the next, I think the last week I had to re-up the actual full subfloor in the bathroom and redo it because just dumb decisions by the previous owners.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my life, is going behind people and fixing shit. I think I'm going to start Chimera construction next, I swear, because
Chimera. I love it. That actually kind of rolls.
Honestly,
Chimera construction.
Honestly, and then you could specialize in like really cool bathrooms, like where you you can make them like look medieval and like whatever.
Although
that would actually be cool. Well, I'll keep some posts.
I'll bet after he's done with this one, though, he'll be like, no, fuck that. I'll never want to do that.
I still have to do one more bathroom in the house, and that one's going to actually look like cavey. So it's going to be more like a natural looking stone one. Mm-hmm. So I'll make sure I post progress next year.
Please, yes. So before we move on from this topic, I'm kind of interested and curious. You said that you purchased a new home. Was the home you were in before one that you had purchased as well, that you owned?
Yes. When we moved back from Germany, as most people probably know already, my wife is Air Force. So we've been overseas. We were in Germany for 5 years, like I said, in last B&B. Mm-hmm. And when we got back, that was our first time also jumping into something, such a big, commitment. And after doing it and, realizing the ups and downs of that and learning from mistakes, we were like, all right, let's do it correct this time. So when we moved, we definitely looked into, and to be honest, it was cheaper than renting. So we were like, fuck it, we're going to buy another house.
Yep. If you can get the down payment, it is cheaper than renting. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's the big problem. And luckily, we're good at saving because I'm cheap. So we save a lot.
I was going to ask you maybe later on off stream. I want to get your feedback and input about looking at houses to buy in other states. What's the process of that?
Yeah, of course. Anything. Yeah, if anybody has questions about that kind of stuff too, I mean, I'm open book. Send me a DM. I actually love looking at house. It came to the point because the ADD, like you said, that dopamine started hitting when you figure out exactly what these realtors are doing, right? And you're like, all right, I see the pattern. I know what they're looking for. Boom. And I got into it as one does with ADHD, and I started I was basically a realtor. Like I knew no, this is wrong. No, I already see that just on the paperwork. No, not doing that. And just, we didn't waste a lot of time on this one, you know, so it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So obviously that's some great success story and a great highlight of the year. Getting a little bit deeper, a little bit more challenging. What has been your biggest struggle this last year?
So, in all honesty, I'd say since I have been so wrapped up and busy, my biggest struggle is giving the attention that I would like to give to the wife. She knows that I'm working and she's not bothered because these are all things she wants done. But personally, it kind of hurts me, and I struggle with trying to keep up with streaming, trying to keep up with my business, trying to keep up with everyday life. Keeping up with the friendships, even a lot of people, that if you guys are in here, that I stop in and I say hi. If I say hi and you don't hear much from me, I apologize. I'm literally busy, and that's my life, and I want to give that attention more to everybody. Everybody that I've met has some kind of special place in my life, and I want people to know that I care and I'm there. I just wrapped up because always wrapped up.
Yeah, totally get it. We all get it for
Yep,
sure.
definitely.
It's the same thing. Oh my god, IRL life is so busy, and it is like I just want to hang out with my friends
Yep.
and snuggle my husband.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to game and talk to my friends. Yeah, trust me,
Yeah.
and it's rough. It's rough. But I mean, that's probably been the biggest struggle is trying to find the balance. We talked about that last BNB too. Is balance is probably one of the most key things in life. And I've really been toting the line of sometimes tipping the wrong way, and it's been a struggle. But I think I got a decent handle on it.
Yeah.
I do
So,
too. I think so too.
Yeah.
thank you.
Same. And honestly, like that's been a struggle for me too, is balancing like, because I want to be supporting everybody and doing all the stuff, and like, I also need to be able to spend time with my husband. Like I totally get it. So like I'm in this routine now where I'm like, if you stream at nighttime, I'm lurking. I love you. You're in my heart. Unless both my husband and I come up into the computer room together, I will most likely not chat. I'll have your computer up, or I'll have my computer up. I'll be lurking, and just know I love you. But I gotta spend that time.
Yep,
So.
yep, and that's goes for everybody. Like I'd say in chat is definitely try to find balance in everything you do, but especially with the what did you call it? The Stormy, the what space?
Meat space.
The internet, the meat space.
The meat
Yeah,
space,
definitely. Try to find that balance between the two.
Yeah, meat space and online space.
Yep.
Meat space is my term.
Oh, it's
Well,
I'm sorry.
actually,
Your
no.
term.
And that's not accurate at all. It's actually comes from Cyberpunk in Shadowrun. So
I started using it in regular vernacular now. On a regular, everybody goes,
Yes.
What?
It is now in my vocabulary.
I never said what. I knew exactly what you meant when you said meat space. I love it. I love that old term. It's awesome.
So funny. It's so funny to me. All right, Never Tilted. Good old twin. What is your greatest fear?
That's I have a few fears. I'm not afraid to admit I got a few fears. I'd say my greatest fear is probably dying before the missus, because I feel like I would be leaving her lonely.
Oh no.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
I wouldn't want her, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
probably my biggest fear is me going out before her and then her having to deal with that. I would rather take that burden.
Mhm.
And I don't even want to think about that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as you, I'm getting kind of teary-eyed actually. Yeah. But that's something that I do not want to see. That's probably my biggest fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of mine too. I agree with you 100% there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's awful. You know what? I hate to admit it. That's one that pops into my brain way too much. Because my poor husband would have no idea how to handle anything with my family if I were to go first. Like, that poor guy.
Yeah. That's the same. Not just her and I kind of thing. It's like now she has to deal with the whole family and everything. And I'm like, yo, I definitely don't want that to be the case.
Yeah.
Well, for Druid, statistically, you don't have to worry too much about it because statistically, more often than not, the guy goes first. Women almost always outlive, but it's not always the case. Like my grandfather, he's like in his 90s and lived through 3 wives. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So on this deeper topic, but something a little bit more friendly.
Excuse me.
What do you value most in a friendship?
Honesty.
Yeah.
I think honesty and trust probably go hand in hand. But being honest, like if I'm a friend, if I say something wrong, I do something wrong, I would like you to tell me what said. What is the issue? What's the problem? Don't sit on it and let that build, you know, and just communication. I mean, it's all,
Yeah.
I guess all those three go hand in hand. But be honest with me. Let me know, like, hey, this, you do something that bothers me. And if it's something that I can change, that maybe I just don't realize it, I will attempt to do so. But if, you know, you don't say anything and you just let it happen, and then eventually you're like, oh, this dude's an asshole or dickhead, and then it's like, wait, what was the issue the whole time, you know? And then, you know, of course, the honesty part comes into it, is just be honest with me. Like, I'm not gonna. I think most people will receive the honesty better than not, and most people, I think, are afraid of that that lashback,
Yeah.
instead of just saying something. And that's why a
Yeah.
lot of the times, like, you'll hear probably from like Brandon, I always tell him, I'll be the bad guy, I don't give a shit. Like, if somebody's gonna take it wrong, they're gonna take it wrong. But I mean, it's just honest, and that's in anything. So yeah, that's one of my big things that I've always told everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same.
I'll say that I 100% agree with you. I think that the only reason why we don't see people practicing that more often is simply because it's kind of human nature to be afraid of conflict, and some people are have not developed the skill to push through that, to get to that level of where they can just be blunt with their friends, you know, or family members or whatnot. And so they're more afraid of hurting somebody's feelings. But in doing so, they end up making things, like you said, if they let that stuff fester, then eventually it blows up into something way worse than it would have been if they had just, you know, been communicative earlier on.
Right. It's like that fest. You know, like you said, it festers. It becomes like an actual, you know, disease. It poisons everything and everybody around you. And again, I think Boggin said it in the chat a second ago. It's like the confrontation part. Yeah, like I've seen a lot of people that would rather just let it happen than have to deal with any kind of a backlash that comes from it. It's like, man, honestly, I bet you if you were to actually say something, the whole situation would change from there. Because some people as well just don't know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've actually had this conversation recently too, you know, and like my family, we deal with a lot of generational traumas, as every single family does, right? And it's one of those things where, why am I going to sit here and hold a grudge against somebody who did not know better and wasn't raised to in an environment to be able to see that? If you tell them and you try to teach them and then they continue to shit on you, you know, that's one thing. But if they don't, how can we sit here and just be so mad when we at somebody who doesn't know?
Yep.
Yeah,
Right?
sometimes people just don't know. They're oblivious.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, my thing is I give people the chance. I'm all about a fair chance. If something is said and nothing changes from there, then that's kind of where I'm like, you know what? Sorry, I'm just not gonna deal with it. I'm not gonna be an asshole to the person. I'm not gonna, you know, be like, you know, rude in any way, because that doesn't bring anything good. But you just, that's kind of it between you and I. Like, see you later. Cool. I see you. I chuck you the deuces, and I keep doing my thing.
Yeah. And don't forget that it's a skill that needs to be practiced to be able to be that kind of self-aware and to, you know, to face those kinds of, I guess you would call them social fears, right? And but it goes both ways, right? You need to, you know, on the other side of it too. You gotta practicing being able to put yourself in the other person's shoes to know how they feel is the key to that. And that's honestly, I think it's funny if you think about it. There's a lot of valuable life skills that we don't really get a lot of practice or teachings or mentoring when we're young from, not, obviously there are exceptions, but I think that there should be classes on this kind of thing. And it should be something that is continued throughout, grade school and high school and college, so that people can practice this kind of honest communication.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. Like an etiquette class. Yeah, I think the only reason I picked up on it personally so quick is my family when I was younger. My father was military as well. So I moved all over the world. I met so many different cultures and had to understand like, oh, you can't act like this here. Like whatever ceremony is or whatever holiday or birthday party event, so I had to learn those things and fortunately for myself, that translates later on in life, like you're saying, because I was basically taking classes on that every place we went.
Right.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I guess I can talk about America, we don't have that. Not everybody has that opportunity to travel and see these different cultures. So it's unfortunate, but having some kind of classes that teaches these things would definitely 100% help in the long run, because then people wouldn't be
100%.
so, sorry, the wifey just got back home.
Hey, sister-in-law.
Twin says hi, sister-in-law.
And I'm just gonna, though I wasn't in a military family, I grew up in a blended family, as they like to call it. With a stepmom and stepdads and all of that craziness, right? And then there was my stepdad's family and my stepmom's family, my mom's family, all of the different aspects, they all had different norms, different cultural norms within the family that I had to go around and I had to learn and this is okay here but not okay there, and just learning how to navigate humans and learning boundaries that way.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Boundaries are huge. And something I want to really quick before we move on to, Boggins was saying something in chat that makes it's a good point, is conversation does not always have to be negative. It could be something like you said, positive. Simple reaching out to somebody might change their whole opinion on the situation. Especially nowadays, everybody's so used to being caught up, in the phone and the digital space, rather than the meat space. So, it's one of those that sometimes just saying hello or introducing yourself goes so long, so far.
Yeah. On the blended family thing, was it Black and Decker or Ninja? Sorry. Bad dad joke. I don't think she got it.
Vitamix.
No, I get it. I was trying to make a different joke on it. My mom was always a Cuisinart brand.
All right, fair enough.
So.
I'm Vitamix. I'm a little bougie.
Ooh, look at you. Look at you. No, brand loyalty to Cuisinart in my household, apparently. God damn.
That's awesome. I love it.
And Twin, name one thing that was harder this year than you thought it would be, and one thing that would be easier.
One thing that was easier.
That was easier.
Okay, one thing that was harder this year
than you thought it would be, and one thing that was easier than you thought it would be.
So one big thing that I thought was going to be harder was to get back into streaming. Or not that thing, it was harder, was to get back into streaming and get everything set up. I mean, aside from all of the fuckery that happened with me going to a dual PC setup, that was its own hemorrhoid in itself.
Yep.
But just getting, the move, getting the house, working on the projects, and then, trying to get actually back into it. And I think I came back better than I have in a long time, because I haven't really been streaming that long anyway, but I'm building a structure, or I guess a schedule, consistency. That's been the hardest thing for me. I pushed through, but it definitely was probably the hardest thing, is getting back and hitting the button.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that was the thing that was harder than you thought it would be, what was one thing that was easier this year than you thought it would be?
So this year, for one of the first times, although we thought it was going to be crazy, was moving from the East Coast to the Midwest, and the transition. I thought it was going to be way harder, and it actually came pretty easy. And that's why I was more frustrated why all of this stuff getting started here was so much harder. And I was like, how is this harder to do when everything's going so smoothly?
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of hand in hand with those ones. But yeah, the whole move process was way smoother than I thought it was going to be. I was stressed out. We thought we weren't going to have our stuff forever. Like I said, trying to find the house in the beginning, we thought we weren't going to have a house. Everything kind of went boom, 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 boom. We had everything before we got here. Even with the storm, you know, that big winter storm that was earlier in the year in January. Well, we drove through that, and I thought that was going to be terrible, but everything came out okay, nice and smooth.
Ugh.
Very cool.
Ugh,
Very
driving
cool.
in the snow is so scary. I hate it.
I did not like it. I was driving on ice. That's what I was driving on the whole time. It was disgusting.
Yeah, so I grew up in Oklahoma, which is known for wind and ice, and especially the south side of Oklahoma City, the roads are really old, and they have a lot of accumulated grease and oil in the cement. And so what happens is in the wintertime, as it's transitioning into winter, the certain kind of the temperature changes and stuff will bring the oils and stuff to the surface. And so there are places in South Oklahoma or South Oklahoma City where you're literally driving on ice with greasy oil on top of it or mixed in with it, and it's an amazingly scary experience. But I learned how to handle a car that's out of control very very quickly.
At least you do, because I'll freak out. I become a little biatch, and I'm like, what'd I do? So I started to slide at one point. I literally let my hand off. I shouldn't have done this, but I let my hand off the wheel for a second, and off the gas and shit, and the car kind of just coasted and then corrected itself, luckily. But that was one of the scariest shits I've ever had to deal with.
I'm good. Nope. Nope. It makes me want to just go throw up.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
cannot.
what I felt like. Yeah, I felt like that. I was like, I'm nauseous.
Yep.
Yeah, Druid, if you had been in the car with me and some of my narrow escapes, I would have yelled at you, "Close your eyes."
Again.
Yeah. Jesus, take the wheel.
Hey, basically, nope. I would rather trudge through forest in the dark by myself than deal with that. There's no way. I can't get.
I would definitely do that. The same. Yep. Yep.
And I would be fine in the forest by myself.
I guess that's where I differ from you guys. I mean, trudging through the forest in the dark would be kind of fun. I agree, but I love driving. So, yeah. At any rate,
we need people like you, Stormy, to counterbalance people like me.
Yeah, because I hate driving. My wife loves driving, and I hate it. So she drives mostly everywhere.
Yep.
Tilty. Here's the next question that's really fun. I love this one. If you were to die and come back as a person or a thing, who or what would it be?
If I were to die and come back as a person or a thing. Oh, that's a good one. There's a lot coming to mind. If it was are we talking like it could be anything or any character, right? Characters from anything. Whatever or
whatever comes to mind.
Okay. So as cheesy as this sounds, growing up, Spider-Man, which I would pronounce Fighter-Man because I could never do SP when I was younger. I would love to come back as Spider-Man.
That'd be cool. Oh, Spider-Man.
Okay.
I know it's kind of like basic and cheesy, but I don't know. Growing up, like that was one of my favorite characters. And just the whole Spidey sense thing, like the strength and all that stuff is great. I don't really care for the whole web thing. It'd be cool to fling around and fly through the streets like that. But the whole Spidey sense thing, I don't know what that gets me. I always thought it was the coolest thing. Like, oh, danger happening or something's about to happen. I have basically a sixth sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. I like that part.
So, all right, I want to dig a little deeper on this. If it had to be someone from history instead of fiction,
From history.
mm-hmm. I mean, it could be the present too. It doesn't necessarily have to be the past.
Yeah, just in general, like IRL, real people,
Mm-hmm.
real world. It's been a lot of big influences. If it was me, I would go back, or I would be reborn as an incarnation of Nikolai Tesla.
Ooh, it's funny that you say that. I'm going to share when you're done. Why him?
So, aside from all, like, there's obviously stories all over the place with crazy things he's supposedly done. There's been, and I'm not trying to get into conspiracies here, guys, but from all the research I've done, there is so much missing schematics and actual inventions and information from the works that he did and was working on at the time that I really wish there was another one of those. Like, I think that innovation is really what we could use. Like, somebody who wants to give basically power to everybody. He wants to basically provide, boom, for free to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that's beautiful. And, I don't know. I look, sometimes I think about it. It might be a high thought, but you think about it's like, what happens if he never was like died, right? What happens if he never got involved with the big banks and all that stuff, and he was just left to his devices? What would the world look like now?
Crazy different.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What were you trying to say, Stormy, about that?
It's funny that you brought up
too?
Tesla, because I was thinking to myself, this isn't what I would choose, but what popped into my head was kind of a funny what if, and that would be come back as a clone of Elon Musk and replace him, so that, because he's gone so nuts that it would be great to take his level of power and truly change the world, right? His wealth and his power, instead of messing everything up.
Yeah. No,
They're just trolling.
Yep.
Right. I have no idea. I don't follow him anymore. I mean, after some of the things I've heard, so I'm kind of like, but I agree. Like, that kind of power that you can hold over the world with that much influence and money, it'd be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a shame that most of the time the that kind of wealth and power gets in the hands of people who exploit it only for themselves. There are exceptions, like Bill Gates is a pretty good exception of somebody who tries to change the world. I mean, I'm not saying he's a saint or anything like that, or perfect. Obviously not. But there are examples of billionaires who try and change the world with their influence and their wealth.
100% agree.
And then Mr. Beast happens.
Oh,
just saying.
Yeah. I mean,
you made me go down that rabbit hole.
I did. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I was going to say the same thing. You read my mind.
So.
Yeah, it's sad. It really is. Like, like, it, honestly, any person like that was trying to make, like, Leonardo da Vinci, for instance, that would be another good one.
That's a great
reincarnation of that, like somebody who's an innovator, that wants to make change for the better.
He's one of my favorite historical figures. That's a great freaking choice.
Yeah.
We need somebody to go back in time and replace the guy that made EpiPens, but make it where, EpiPens aren't $700, So
we
that would be cool.
Actually, that was that somebody bought the patent or something like that later on, because it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be, it said for like a penny. That's how much it was supposed to cost. And somebody privately bought the patent, and because they own the patent, you can't even make an injector that's the same, which is bullshit. And I don't want to, again, I'm trying not to get political with it.
We need to replace that guy.
Yeah, that whoever was the one that bought the fucking the patent for that, suck a big toe.
Yeah, my little sister has to have EpiPens, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm enraged. It was one of those things that I'm enraged by.
No,
Somebody wants to replace that
I feel
guy.
you. I feel you. Yeah,
I'm not smart
I get
enough
it.
to do that.
Whoever that is.
Whoever that is. I'm not
One of those.
saying anything, but anyways, what are some of your goals and plans for this year or this next year coming up? How about that? Since we're getting so close to 2025, what are your goals for 2025?
I plan to take over the world.
Absolutely.
Okay,
No.
Pinky.
So this year, with getting the sculpting going back, my 3D printing going back again, doing the DJ streams, I plan I'm gonna be getting into a club, I hope, to actually do like a one weekend night, a week. That's like a goal that I want to have. I also want to start up a series that I've been thinking about doing for a while that Brandon's been pushing me to do, which is cooking. So being in the kitchen, because I was a chef for a while, so I do a lot of cooking, and a lot of the times I make pretty elaborate meals with really cheap things. So I wanted to do a series basically on taking like an elevated dish but getting it out of ramen noodles. So that's another goal to do next year, and to kind of expand my business a little bit more, to a few more brick and mortar shops, because things have been going well at the one that I had left in New Jersey, so it's been awesome. So I wanted to get into a few more of those.
Nice. Those are great goals and plans. Fantastic. I am confident you will knock them out of the park.
I
Thanks,
love
bro.
that.
I hope so. I hope so.
And once you figure out how to get your cooking stream set up, I need you to teach me because I have to do those too, apparently. So
Okay. I will, like I said, it's going to be kind of like I'm going to do the correct way first. And then I'm going to do a breakdown of how to do it with, great value, ingredients. As something that anybody can get at the local cheap, grocery store. But
and I interrupted you.
I know, and it just brain farted too.
I'm sorry.
It brain farted. I'll figure it out later. But
Was
probably
it
halfway through the next question, I'll be like, wait.
Was it a plan or a goal you thought of
It was a plan, and now it's or a goal.
in your ether?
Because cooking stream, getting more into brick and mortar shops, expanding Chimera Collectibles.
Trust me, she's really good at setting off brain farts.
I really am. It's my specialty.
All right, we'll figure it out. I brain fart a lot. We'll come back to it. We'll circle back later.
I'll give her props though. I've done the same thing to her constantly too. We do it to each other on our Wednesday meetings. It's so funny.
All the time. It's terrible. And then Faith's just like, how was your meeting? And I'm like, good. He's like, what'd you guys talk about? And I'm like, nah, I don't know. I have to look at the notes.
I remembered it. I want to get a project going with Druid that we had talked about for next year. It's the things I sent you. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
I want to get that going. So that's kind of like a secret for now, but yeah, it's gonna be something cool to be looking out forward to.
Yep.
So
okay.
Fate saw it, and he's just like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Don't touch it. Gosh.
Get up. Put your grubby fingers on it. Gosh.
Don't touch it." So.
Oh wow, I feel so out of the loop.
Yo, we'll tell you after we get off of here. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. It was impromptu. It was the ADHD last second.
It was literally like we had two conversations about it, and then we were both like, "Life happens," and then all of a sudden there's a package at my door, and I'm like,
and it came up while we're fixing Firebot. This is how this happened. We're fixing Firebot, and then we start talking about something completely off Firebot, and then something else, and then that came up, and we're like, that sounds like a great idea. And as Druid, I'm the same way. So, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Don't feel bad. Literally, my own husband's just like, what the fuck? When did this happen? And I'm like, literally in passing, but we're gonna make it happen because we're both super hyped about it. So
gonna make it happen. Yeah. So we'll definitely have some more for that later.
Oh, I actually, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about it. So,
all right.
good things. Good things, good things. Super exciting
On
stuff.
that note, last question of the regular interview before we move on to the open forum. Everyone start thinking of your questions to ask any of us because this is an open forum part of the interview. But for Tilty, what do you want people to know about you?
People to know about me that secretly I am always tilted.
like so you're like
Secretly.
the Hulk.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's my secret. No, I guess what people want to know about me is I do have really, really bad ADD, ADHD, and if sometimes you don't know how to approach, or if I'm all over the place, I apologize in advance. And if I seem overly excited, as the little one will know, is I'm not ignoring you at all, even in conversation. I'm just excited. I get excited very, very easily. So it happens. So don't take it personally if I feel like you feel like I'm cutting you off or I am too much. Again, like I was saying earlier, just tell me like, yo, calm down a little bit.
We should one of these
Relax.
record one of our calls and then like just do a time lapse of how many times we go off onto another like how and like keep track of like all of the conversations at once and like try to like timeline it so people can really see the chaos when you put all of the ADHD in one room, because you and I have a very similar like excitement level. We ramp up, we get super excited and all the plans and all of this stuff, and then we just never shut up because we're just so excited, and then we're just like 20 plans deep and we're only going to achieve one of them. Maybe
If we're lucky. If
we put it on paper. Listen, we would have been millionaires by now, Twin, if we would have actually remembered anything we talked about.
Yep. So it's funny that you say that. Sorry, Stormy, to cut you off. I saw you were about to say something, but Brandon actually makes me, because he knows how I am, he makes me write things down. He's like, write it down. I'm like, what? He's like, get your phone out or a pen, write it down. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'll remember. He's like, no, you won't. Write it down right now. So I have like, my shit's everywhere, but I have a notepad on the desktop that's just ideas. And then there's a little notepad that I was using for something else recently, but it's in there. Yeah, literally. Yep, sticky notes.
Every single notepad, every single note. I have to go through them because I haven't looked at them in a while.
I just love listening to you guys go off.
See, sorry, Story. Like it gets nuts sometimes.
Nope.
I think we were in a call. I forgot who it was with, and that kind of happened. I was Brandon. Yeah, Brandon was with us, and he's kind of sat there, and I was like, "Sorry, Brandon, you want to talk?"
It was just being tilted, like. Imagine that.
Yeah, we get Phaser in here. We get Phaser in here, and that's it. It's going to be the trifecta.
Oh man.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. Anyways, guys, so here's my time to give you guys a spiel. If you guys haven't already, shame on you. So the best way to rectify the shame is to actually just go hit all of these links. Every single one of these links. There's all of them. There's NeverTilt3d, there's Chimera Collectibles, there's the DYS link tree, because shout out to DYS, we love them. And then NeverTilt3d's link tree. We just want to make sure that all of the links are done. There you go. You can't miss it. Can't miss it. Okay? So there we go. So please go hit the buttons.
And welcome in Bismarck Rush, first time chatter. Biz. Thank you.
That's so funny what he said.
Who's going what? I'm Cosmo because I'm gooey.
All right, now that you guys are all done, making sure that you dropped a follow for NeverTilt3d if you haven't already. Go do that.
Thank you.
And we're gonna jump into the open forum questions. Wow, Caffeinated Zombie starts out with a good one. It's a tough one. that definitely for all three of us to try and answer different perspectives.
I have an answer.
Let's
So.
start off with you, Tilty. Caffeinated Zombie asks, I wonder what motivates streamers to keep on going with streaming even during the tough times.
I personally would say that once I've gotten, at least for me, once I've got over well, how many people are watching me? I don't look at it anymore. And I'm just like, I'm just going to do me. And hopefully people are there to enjoy that time with me. So I honestly don't care as long as somebody's in there. I mean, they don't even have to be, but typically when somebody's in the chat just shooting the shit back and forth, that's kind of what keeps me going. As far as on the stream stuff, hard times outside of the stream world that keep me motivated to keep streaming, is that I find enjoyment hanging out with the community, being able to hang out with the friends and the people that I've met. That's what actually keeps me going. Even if I'm having a shitty day, like this morning, I'm not gonna lie, I woke up super tilted today. I was having a shitty day, getting in here even with Stormy and Druid a little bit before the interview started, or the B&B started, put me in a better mood. So a lot of the times, streaming and hanging out with the community can really lift you out of that hard time.
That's right, 100%. I get that sometimes it might be hard to get over that wall, right? And so it's one of those things where, you got to practice some of the skills that he just talked about, right? And understand and know that if you just do it, you're more than likely going to be happy that you did. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's ever been a time I can think of where I was having an off day, didn't feel like streaming, made myself stream, and was unhappy that I made myself stream. Not every single time that I've pushed through that block, I was happy that I did. And just like he said. And so sometimes it's a matter of just do it, push forward, get yourself back up,
Yeah, because for me, streaming is just as much of my way to cope with dealing with meat space as it is to be a chatter in somebody else's, to just be to be distracted from meat space. Like, I may seem very bubbly and very chatty and very fun online. Meat space stresses me out so much. And I have really bad anxiety, and it's really difficult sometimes to just navigate like real life. And so like my safety spot is here on the computer on Twitch with all of the people and then it's like I get to control my safe space with the cool people that I get to meet and everything. I love it. It's so much fun. And that's exactly what keeps me going, is being able to be like, this is my safe space.
No, 100%. To add on to the question that Caffeinated had was everything that we just talked about doesn't come after doing it just once. It honestly is a trained skill to do, because I have had times like Stormy said, where I actually got on and I didn't feel worse, but I didn't feel any better, and that was because I was putting way too much pressure on the whole aspect of streaming. And after you get past that block of, you know what, I'm just me right now. I'm just doing me. Why do I have to worry?
Yeah.
Once you pass that block and you train to get everything we just spoke about, that's honestly what keeps you going.
Yeah. And it comes with, absolutely comes with experience. And experience a community. Because I've been streaming for, how long have you been streaming for, Stormy?
I think a little over 3 years now. You mean me or you?
You, I've been, because I started 6 months after you.
I think
so
mine is like
Stormy has, minus 6 months. That's how long I've been streaming for.
I think mine is like 40 months, something like that. 40, 41 months, yeah.
And so 3 years basically, right?
Yeah.
And so it took a long time to just to get there. Because at first it's just like, this is fun. I'm having a good time. There's 3 of us hanging out, having a good time. and then I'll like, and you do want growth, and then you get too focused on growth, and then you're just like freaking out over numbers and stuff. Everybody goes through the cycle. Every single person goes through that. But I want growth. How do I get growth? How do I do this? And like, but in reality, yeah, it's literally just like it comes with time and practice. Because you can tell when people are brand new. I have an eye now. I can tell when people are just baby streamers because they panic when they get rated. With double digits. If there's double digits getting rated in, they go, "Hi guys!" I get all scared, and I love it so much.
I get scared because of my raid alert is so loud. It's so obnoxious that I think it scares me more than anything else. Because, like I said, I turned the numbers off. So I guess that's a good tip right there for anybody who is starting. Turn your numbers off.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the numbers and just do you. And then look at like your after stream report and see, where your peak was, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Or just completely avoid that altogether and just have a good time.
I was going to say, honestly, I really, until you are reaching the point where you have a certain saturation of followers and are hitting those, the point where you can make partner, you shouldn't worry about it until you get to that point. Because, like you said, all you're going to do is stress yourself out, and you're going to focus on that. And instead, just find something about yourself that you want to highlight and to shine forward, right? To entertain or encourage people in some way, or inspire people in some way. Let that side of yourself awaken, and just don't try to express it. Let it be. And try,
Let it
just
flow from you.
Yeah. What I love about streaming is it puts me in a place, in a position where I'm held accountable to try and be the best version of myself. But I don't mean that in a stressful way, right? Instead, it's more of a letting go of all the bullshit, right? It's dropping those kind of negative layers like a bag of bricks, and instead just be the inside person that you love the most, right? Let that inner child out, so to speak. And I think that's one of the ways you can get there.
Yeah. And also, I will say too, something that I love about streaming is that the streaming was one of the first spaces that I entered that I didn't feel like a piece of shit for having ADHD and being that squirrel brained, goofy, silly, all of that chaos incarnate, just embracing the, just being like, I don't remember what I said. You could tell me what I said because I don't remember what I said because I'm just talking to talk, right? You can't really say that in meat space and get away with it socially too much.
You're gonna offend somebody.
Somebody's gonna go, that's not professional. Or that's not how we talk at work to customers. And you can't say that to but like I could just be like, I don't remember what I said, so that sucks for you guys because I'm not gonna elaborate because I don't remember what I said.
Right. Exactly.
And like streaming is the first place that I've been embraced for my chaos energy. And I love that. So thank you guys.
The power of chaos.
The power of chaos.
Indeed.
I love it.
So while some folks are coming up with more questions, please do. I have a question for you. I know that for a while early this year, you were DMing Brodesai and a couple other folks in a campaign. Did you complete that? Is that something you're going to continue? What's going on with that, out of curiosity?
So that's up in the air at the moment, to be honest. We had, unfortunately, one of our players lost their mother. So some of the players are close, friends as well. So everybody was gone for a bit. And the whole story is kind of ingrained with having everybody there. And, like 2 of the players just have not been back 100%. Gotcha. So it's been a little harder to do, and actually, I'm glad you reminded me of that. Between the house and everything, I completely forgot to follow up and ask, does everybody want to continue or not? Because again, I never know what kind of during one of those situations what's the best time to talk about. Hey, you want to play some fantasy game when you got real life emotion stuff going on? So me and Steve talked about, or Bertosai talked about that recently. I'd say probably about 2 weeks ago. And depending on the schedules, we might start up something in the meantime until we figure out if that's going. I kind of have everything, still in place. All the notes are there, so it's really easy to pick back up into it. But I would definitely like to get back into a D&D campaign myself, whether DMing or playing.
Right on. Very cool. Well, I know that one of the things that I'm trying to get developed in the future, and Druid has been helping me with it some, and we because just like you, we're super busy and have lots of projects and irons in the fire and all that, we had to kind of put it on hold for a little while, and that's I'm wanting to do basically a special 3-shot D&D series that would be where it's not a one shot, it takes 3 episodes, and it'd be like, you pick 3 weeks in a row, and it's going to be me DMing either new players or other DMs who don't get to play very often. And so, yeah, absolutely. If once we get it going, probably later this year or early next year, one of the two, we'll add you to the roster if it's something you would like to try for, a few weeks.
Hell yes, I would definitely love it. Like I say, I haven't got enough time as a player yet, because it was kind of like quickly thrown into there to DM. So I would very much appreciate getting to do a little bit more normal gaming, where I don't have to think as much.
Yeah, it's something I want to do to help bring D&D to our community, even if it's just in short bursts. So
Hell yeah.
I think you get the next question there, Druid. Is that Ratatash's? It was a great question. You're muted.
Ratatash asks, Tilted, do you have any plans to play some spoopy games? I said spoopy. She actually wrote spooky games in October.
All right. Your sister-in-law says spoopy all the time, so I got it.
I do too.
I do. I don't know if Tash knows we played at least 2 times a week. Lately, not as much since the renovations, but there's the other one right there. I was just about to say food safety as well. We play a lot of Demonologist and a lot of Faz, so yes, spooky games are definitely on the roster. I actually might, when I do my game streaming, I might just be playing spooky games for October. Besides, my art streams and whatnot, but that might be the only games that I am going to be playing, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Halloween is huge in this house. My father probably owns upwards of like 8 to 10 grand worth of animatronics alone.
Oh, wow.
So every year we do something crazy. Aside from the animatronics, we decorate really big. So yeah, we're doing like a whole big thing, and then we're doing a huge Halloween party. And I guess to answer the question again, yes, I will be playing majority spooky games, and you better be there.
Right on. Yeah. I think I know. I don't know. I don't know if Druid is going to, but I know that my plan in October is to play Vampire Therapist, which technically isn't a spooky game, but because it's called Vampire Therapist.
This shit cracks me up, dude. I cannot.
Apparently, they use actual therapeutic methods in this game. And I think you play a vampire who's a therapist to other vampires, and it'll be interesting to see how the game works. But I got a free code for it, and so yeah.
If you do not dress up as like an old school Dracula and use the Romanian accent while you play it, I don't want to watch.
I mean, did you not? I guess you never saw my Halloween stream last year. I dressed up as Vagula, the vegan vampire.
The vegan vampire with his
and I even had my little bat plaid. Oh,
So
you'll,
it's a
I may have missed it because Halloween I was super. We had the block party.
Right,
And
you
the
were
big
busy.
thing.
yeah,
I get it.
100%. No, totally. No, so Vagula the vampire is from Isles in the Mist. We interviewed him and then brought him on as Team 3
That's
because he's a
funny.
vegan vampire.
He was just
A
a
vegan vampire.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was
How does that work?
He was a sorcerer who believed he was a vampire, but chose not to drink blood and instead was a vegan. And his little bat familiar knew that he was just crazy. And
Because I talked
He
to
was-
that because I was playing Fern, who could talk to animals, so I talked to the bat. Obviously.
Oh, you found out? Oh my god.
I was like,
That's
it's okay.
funny.
We love him anyway.
Yeah, so if you do that, that would be the best content. I'd watch the shit out of that.
right on. All right on. Well, for as soon see, this is the 27th. I guess probably before October 1st, I transform my room upstairs into a Halloween themed backdrop. And then I don't cosplay every night that I stream, but definitely on Halloween if I stream on Halloween. So for sure there will be a Vagula return.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
It's very good.
So I can't wait. So I know that you like to play Phasmophobia with Ratatash. What are some of the other spooky games that you're going to be playing potentially?
Demonologist. It definitely is like another, I guess, same style as Phasmophobia. That one is stupid scary because of the jump scares and all the extra shit that happens. Yes, and food and Wookiees, and I mean, there's a few, and Cameron. And we play with a lot of people. Actually, I think it got to the point Wookiees got us all into it that there's a backlog deck. I think we have 2 teams full now.
Yeah. I'm one of them too. I also have both Demonologist and Phasmophobia.
And Twin, can't leave her out.
Totally
Yes, her as well.
pick up Demonologist just to play with you guys. I have Phasmo already as well, but
it's a good time. It's a good time. So another one that I was told to try out. A lot of them are going to be new to me. Like the Mortuary's Assistant, I think it's called.
Oh yeah,
somebody told me about that one.
That one's super scary.
I was thinking about getting into what's the space one? Somebody told me about that
Dead
one.
Space?
Is it Dead Space 2? Yeah, where it's like scary space. I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you said something and I didn't hear it. Then I was thinking because we bought the Resident Evil, the remake series. I was thinking about getting back into those. So those are some of the first games that I played as a kid, where I would play and my dad would do all the dialogue. He would read everything. And now that they've remade, a number 1 through, I think they're up to like 5 now or 6 with the remakes. I haven't touched them yet because I wanted to kind of play them back to back, and that's something the wife enjoys doing too. So I might, use my capture card and actually go to the PlayStation for that one.
Right on. Very cool.
Yeah, I did buy Alien. Yeah, I bought Alien Isolation.
So I heard you talking about that one. I mean, what is that? Quick synopsis, I guess.
Biz is currently streaming it. So if you have any really big questions, Biz is streaming it.
Yeah.
Bismarck.
Rush.
Okay.
So Alien Isolation is basically just set in the Alien universe from the movies. And you're on a space station, I believe, and you're trying to avoid getting eaten by the alien.
Yeah, and it connects your mic, I think, and so if you make too much noise or talk too much, like the alien will find you and kill you.
Oh, I didn't realize that it had that feature. Interesting.
Yeah, that's why people want me to do it because I never stop talking. It doesn't connect on Steam, but it does on. Oh, good. So then it won't be voice activated because I. Okay.
Okay, so I would like to play that. So I actually talk to you after stream. I might get that and do that with you.
It's on sale.
It's not on sale anymore.
I didn't realize that was Ripley's daughter. Interesting. Huh. That's not. I own it, and I didn't get far into it. I I honestly wasn't that impressed at the beginning. Maybe I just didn't give it enough time. I'm gonna try again.
Maybe we set up a date sometime in October to do some isolation.
Yeah, I don't
Is
know
it
if you can play it
multiplayer?
multiplayer. That'd be awesome if you could, but
Wait, is it? Oh, I don't know. I thought it was.
Is it multiplayer?
no, I don't think it is. I think it's a single player only.
Hold on, I'm at. I think it is single player.
Boo! It's not
It's
co-op. Oh man, anybody who makes games nowadays that doesn't make it co-op, what are you doing?
Speaking of co-ops, sometime I wouldn't mind. I'm going to be firing up the classic old Doom 1 and 2. And it might be
those
kind
are
of
good.
fun. That and also Duke Nukem. Like both of those be so much fun.
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, one more
Dude, that
question
was-
it looks like from Pelican. And Drew, do you want to grab that one?
Pelican asks, I don't know if he answered. What is your favorite dice visually, and what is your favorite to make?
It's a great question.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship. I'll answer the latter first. I love making liquid core, but I also fucking hate it. They are so fun and different to make, like the whole process, which I'll have on stream soon. But those are my favorite to make. There's nothing cooler than yeah. Stormy actually has one of the liquid cores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is one of the
So they're
chonky ones
super
too.
cool. Yeah, it's the chonker one. So they're so fun to make because you can do so many different effects. Like I showed Stormy at one point one of an idea of one that I had did, and he was like, "I want that. That's the one I want."
Yep.
So I made his almost exactly like one of them that I first made, and it's just the different effects that you can get with not only the core on the inside, but the colors and everything on the outside. Is super cool. As far as visually, aside from the liquid cores, loving those how they look. I like the what's the term I want to use? They're called cloud dice. So I make a few of them. I don't have any on hand at the very second to show, but I make some, and I love seeing other artists make them. It looks almost clear in color, but inside the way you do the pores, you kind of wait in like later on until the resin already starts to cure, and it kind of looks like it drops in, and it almost looks like there's some kind of nebula or clouds in it, depending on what material you use. Some people use clear, some people use opaque ones, which are amazing looking. I've made a few of them like that. Like I said, I don't know where they're at the moment, but they're super cool to look at. You can see, like, if you hold them up to the sun, you see the light coming through some of the areas that are clear, and then the sunlight kind of blocks out, or the opaqueness will blocks out the other ones, and it gives just really cool shadows and effects inside.
Yeah, so
cool.
this is one of my favorite dice, this chonker. It rolls pretty darn well, and it's fun to roll because it's big. And then this one's a great one too. This is another one of his that's if you can see the effect there, but yeah.
It's a little harder to see in the smaller ones.
Yeah. Good stuff, guys.
That's so
Good
cool.
stuff.
Don't forget, if you go to chimeracollectibles.com and you get 15% off if you use the code StormKeep15.
Look. Yes. For anybody in here who didn't hear earlier, StormKeep15 gets you 15% off your total order. I will have a lot more stuff up soon. I also will be adding a custom commission part on there, so kind of like what I did for Stormy and Druid and the rest of their crew for the D&D campaign. I kind of made dice based upon their characters, so that is something that I will be offering more soon. Yep,
that's Fern, right, Druid?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are Rylar. So on that note, also don't forget, guys, tomorrow on D&D, we're gonna start the Never Tilted dice giveaway, and you'll have a whole week to sign up, and the actual winner will be announced the following Saturday during our D&D intermission.
US only. US only.
Yeah, US only.
Unfortunately.
Sorry, guys, it is just
Yeah.
the way it is, and the reason for that is perfectly understandable. Even if we use the cheapest shipping, the cheapest shipping is almost as much as the cost of the dice, and then you would have to pay an import fee where you're at, which ends up being more than the cost of the dice. So it's pretty awful.
It's terrible.
One other interesting thing,
Yeah.
make sure that you guys go check out our newest Stormkeep Crier that Druid and I made over on the Bandwidth and Banter YouTube channel. We lost our interviewee.
He dropped the dice.
I know. Yes, you know exactly what I did.
He pulled
I
the
know, because
tilty.
he's been going like this. So that's how I know.
It's somewhere.
He's making sure the
Lost.
D4 isn't in the caltrip isn't down there.
Yeah, luckily they're not caltrips. You know, they're
Oh, that's
the,
right.
the
That's right.
shards.
Yours won't. I mean, I think stepping on that would still be a pain, but
It would hurt, but they don't sit up like this often. It's not as bad. But yeah, definitely. So have you seen the chonky set size D4s?
oh wow, no, you haven't shown us that. So
Those are the regulars, and those are the chonkers here on the
Wow.
on the right.
it's a
I
massive
love it.
difference.
They
So,
they dreidel so good.
you're right, Zach. D4 old school D4s are the only thing worse than Legos to step on, but they definitely are, especially the metal ones. Oh my god.
Oh Jesus!
But Alex
Bruh.
did have a question that we missed a little bit. What is your thought on Arena Breakout Infinite?
So I haven't played it too much since it fully released recently. I played it a little bit. I like it. So I know a lot of people compare it to Tarkov. I haven't had the experience in either to really say like, oh yeah, it's better or worse than Tarkov. But what I will say on the two is Arena Breakout is a lot more casual friendly. You can literally get in there. You can get enough money from whatever the quests are and the free stuff to get going and actually enjoy the time. It's a lot more, I'd say, cooperative friendly with friends because they have the tags over their head, so it's cool to know exactly you're not shooting your friend in the back of the head. Because Tarkov, they don't have that. You just have to know what they're wearing or use comms, which is cool. It's realistic, but it's very fun casual. It's very good casual fun, and I enjoy it. And then of course people are going to say, "Oh, it's worse than Tarkov." I mean, that's tomato. They're not the same game at all.
Gotcha.
Beautiful. I'm just
Gotcha.
not into competitive shooters. I wish I was. I feel like I would be really fun on comms. I think it would be really fun and ridiculous, and I would piss a lot of people off, but it would be great content. But I just can't do it. Oh no! I would be running around with phone voice, being very obnoxious, or I would totally go around in my Valley Girl.
Druid,
Oh my god, I love your shoes.
stop the Valley Girl, but we need to make this idea happen that I just thought of.
Oh no.
Dungeonborn, the three of us, this crew right here, because you play Skyrim, you can easily play Dungeonborn. It plays just like Skyrim.
Yeah,
and it's free.
The fighting combat is very similar.
So I think it would be a blast. If you're interested in I think you would be amazing and have a lot of fun at it. I mean, you played Phasmo for crying out loud. It's another first-person style game. You haven't played DBD. You played what's the where you're working for the tentacle lord.
Lethal Company?
Yeah, Lethal Company. That's first person.
Fun fact, I still don't understand Lethal Company.
Right, but you know how to move around and
have a good
navigate,
time.
interact, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you. What do you think? I know he's excited by this idea. Will you do it?
One of these days.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Dungeonborn is like, it's like I'm here to fuck shit up. That's Dungeonborn basically. I'm here to fuck shit up and get loot.
Yep. All righty. Well,
I think you enjoy it.
Now I guess sadly it's about that time. Our time together has come to an end. But please share one final thought with the folks. Lord of always tilting, even though he's never tilted. Or is it the other way around?
Probably both.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Tom. That's exactly what I said.
So,
100%.
no, that's right. Share one more thing with the folks, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna ask me a question. I guess, like I say at the end of most of my streams, like, you know, I got this one from Brando. Is, you know, don't forget to tell someone, you know, you love them every day, and don't forget to kiss the homies goodnight. You know, there's nothing wrong with kissing the homies goodnight.
Nothing is wrong with kissing the homies goodnight.
Nothing. At the end of the stream, I always, you know, everybody gets, you know, a quick, you know, goodnight.
Smooches.
Just on the forehead. There's nothing wrong with it.
I agree, Ratatash.
Smooches.
Right back at you, all you guys. And never tilted.
And
that
we
is
love
such
you.
good advice. Always kiss the homies.
100%.
That's the best advice I've heard in a long time.
Can I do? Mine's kind of square, you know. At the
Yours
top.
is kind of square.
You know
Hey,
what?
mine isn't that
That's
great either.
okay.
Hers is like perfect. Look at that. She's so practiced at that.
Yeah, like mine's not round. Mine's like squared off and shit.
Mine looks like it's
That's
been
You know what it is.
squished. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Never Tilted, for coming in today. It was great to have you as a surprise guest, and we will.
Well, thanks for having me.
You bet. Look forward to more collabs with you in the future, in the very soon future. Bye, brother.
Bye, twin.
Kisses.
Smooches.
That's right.
Smooches.
Smooches. Nothing wrong. It's funny. I did you hear me yesterday when you were on the call with me and Star Kitty was getting ready to go, and I went in there and kissed her on the forehead and said, "Have a good class," and smooches.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you like to use the word smooches too. That's cool.
No, when I say smooches, I think of Tarkonix because he always goes smooches. Smooches.
I haven't seen. It's funny. I've watched a ton of his streams. I've never seen him do that. I have to.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
In my brain, that's what stands out. Like, it's so funny. I love it so much.
Well, it's we've ended another episode of Bandwidth and Banter. Who do we have up next week?
My big bro, Havoc RPG.
Oh my God! So wait, we just had Never Tilted, who's your twin, and Havoc RPG is your big bro.
Yep.
You have so many siblings across Twitchverse. Man, what were your parents up to? No, I'm just kidding. I know. They're adopted siblings, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're the vibe. The vibe attracts your tribe. Real kind of siblings, right?
Yeah. So we get Havoc RPG next week, guys.
Fantastic.
Wait, I don't know what time. I didn't check the time. At 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and of course, don't forget tomorrow D&D at 3:30 Central Time. One more plug for Never Tilted's giveaway starting then, and then you know it all. We'll see you guys in the river of Twitch. Let's do our thing, Druid. Thank you for coming to the show.
Please drop a like, subscribe, comment down below.
And if you're listening to the podcast,
Please rate and review the episode.
we are Bandwidth.
And banter.
Thank you.
And good night. Goodbye. Goodbye.